The real deal. Real fishing information from real fishing experts. Presented by Amsoil.
Twin power poles down. I'm pegged alongside a little channel that goes underneath a bridge from lake to lake. That's a very popular area for walleyes because there's usually a current that creates itself in between as that water flows back and forth underneath the bridge. And my favorite techniques for working areas like this, obviously one would be jigging, and then I've got another technique I'm going to tell you about in a minute that's pretty cutting edge stuff. But let's start off with the jigging part. Essentially, I just work the area, the little deeper edges and basin of that channel. And I cast with a typical jigging stroke. And normally I'll be using 2.5 or 3-inch gulp minnows. But let me show you, this is a new tail. It just came out. It's become one of my favorite tails now, especially when the jig bite is real aggressive. When the fish are really on, I like to go to this tail. One of the reasons, it's more durable. I can get a lot more fish on it, work it through the snags, and it doesn't come off as easy. One of the really cool things is how flexible this tail is. I'm using a gold, it's called a clear golden shiner color because this lake system is tannic. It's kind of tea colored water. But when I'm in a situation where I'm in a clear water area, I like to use the black shad. It looks like a normal minnow. And I think people who have followed me know that I like to use those natural colors in clear water. The other technique that's really cool is kind of an adaptation of an old style technique, a river technique that has a new twist to it. This is a blade bait, and I mean people who walleye fish a lot, especially on the Mississippi system, other places where there's current, know how to use these baits. Basically, they were always fished vertically, kind of straight up and down, and you kind of jerk them hard and they fall back and you get bites on them. Well, the new adaptation is the fact that they end up being casted. I mean, that is the cutting edge technique right now. I learned it by fishing on the Mississippi this spring in a big tournament, and all the local guys were doing this. They were casting these little blake baits, so I started trying it, but it's real easy to work. You work it kind of like a fast jig, and you just cast it out. But if you watch my rod here, I'm jerking it in little jerks. And if I can, if the bottom's not real snaggy, I'll let it hit the bottom every time. But every time I'm making a jerk like this, I can feel that blade bait vibrating. I can be fishing in an area with a jig and then take out this little Thinfisher and cast it, and all of a sudden you get a lot bigger fish. I don't know why that is, but it's pretty common. So cutting edge tournament technique, brand new one, and then a brand new bait for the jigging. They work really good. Hopefully, I'm going to check a lot of these bridges today. By the time I get done with the day, I'm hoping I have a few fish.